Hi fam, welcome back to the channel. So if you are interested in learning how to make some yummy beef stew for the fall and winter, stick around. Guys, this is really a simple recipe, and I'm following the recipe that is in your ball book. So please get you a ball book. I'm actually ordering the huge complete book because I want more recipes. I am so addicted to canning right now. You just don't know. Once you start, you're not going to want to stop. And I want to make meals that I can put on my shelf. So if we're out of power or I'm just tired, I'm ill from my lupus or whatever is going on with me, I can just go and grab something and do not a lot of work to get it where it needs to be in order to consume it. Let's go over some of the items that we need. So some of the items you will need today, and it's not mandatory that you have a couple of them. You can always make do. Make it do what it do, okay? So we're gonna have our jar lifter right here. We have our magnetic wand right here. This is used to pick up your lids, okay? Because your lids will be in hot water. This is my debubbler and spacer. This has the spacing on it. I don't know if you can make that out. You see that? One, put you in the light. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, they don't have 5 on here, I'm just saying. And this part right here, you just stick down and debubble it. If you don't have this, that's okay. You can use something else. I don't recommend using a metal knife, but something that's plastic or wooden going into your jars and not going to clink, won't damage your jars, then you can debubble with that. I also have my measurements right here because I will be adding seasonings to my beef stew. I have my funnel right here, and I need to find the other one that goes over the jars because it's less mess. Less mess is right, because I am messy. So I have my peeler right here. You're going to need that for your carrots and your potatoes. Right here, I have my knife ready to go. I also have a ladle that I will be using. And if you don't have a ladle, just a decent enough scoop size spoon is fine. I also have this right here to stir it up once I'm putting all the ingredients together. I have our lids right here. I already showed you. And make sure you check them. Even though these are new, you still want to check them. They say you don't have to wash them. They say you don't have to put them in hot water either, but I still do that because I just want to increase my chances on making sure I have a good seal. And then I'm using pint-sized jars. Excuse the mess. I cleaned up last night, but got up this morning and this is what my child left me. But anyway, I'm using pint-sized jars today. You can use quarts for that. You're just going to process a little bit longer. Got my vinegar right here. This is going to be used to wipe the ridges here and the rim of your jar because you want to make sure you are not leaving any chances that your jars won't have that seal that you need. So wherever your arrow is, once you find that and you line it up, you push it down. It shouldn't be hard to turn if you have greased it, okay? So see how I'm turning that just now? Just that simple. If you got to struggle to do it, don't do it. Go back, grease your gasket that I showed you, the black piece. It comes out and you can put it right back in. It comes out like this and you can put it right back in. Inside my canner, I do have this pan here is sitting down in the bottom, and that is to keep your jars from touching the bottom of your canner. That is what you do not want. Now, if you don't have one of those, if one didn't come with your canner, because one didn't come with mine, I actually ordered mine. But when I ordered them, I ordered 2 of them, okay? So, in case I ever double batch. I've never double batched, but I have a feeling today I might end up double batching, depending, because the book says what I'm doing should yield about 14 pints. And I know that this canner only holds 7 at the bottom, maybe 8. What I'm doing now, I have, 2 to 3 inches of water in here, check to see what your canner is in need of, okay? And also, when it comes to your dowel, you have the numbers that's on here right here. As you can see, it's on 0. So for my pressure, because I'm elevated over 1,000 feet, I'm always going to be at an 11. Your ball book is set up for PSI of 10. So find out what your level is and can for that. But when you're canning meat, you're going to can on an 11 regardless. I'm going to turn the fire on, but I'm not going to have it up high. I just want my water to get hot and be getting hot while I'm doing all this prep work that I'm about to get into. I left something out too that we will be using. Okay, so when it comes to you doing your beef stew, the book says water, or broth. So I'm going to be doing broth. I'm not going to do water. I want my beef stew to have as much flavor as it can possibly have, because the book doesn't tell you how much broth you need. You just need to be able to cover your broth, your stew. So also, there are 2 ways to do this, you guys. I've seen people take the actual jar and they will fill it up with meat, celery, onions, potatoes, and I forgot to tell y'all, add your onions to it. That's the one thing I don't have up here, but you'll see it once I start cutting. So you just add them to here, and then you add your seasonings and you add your broth and your tomato paste. But what I'm going to do, I think will be a whole lot simpler if you are just beginning, and that is to sear my meat in a pan with, I'm gonna sear the meat, and then I'm gonna add my onions and my celery to it, and then I'm gonna layer it like that, how I'm adding it. I mean, either way you do it is fine, but I'm just gonna do it this way because I think it'll go by a whole lot faster, at least I hope. Guys, if you are doing the recipe with the oil and you are gonna use your Dutch oven, go ahead and add about 1 tablespoon of oil. You don't want to add too much. So just move this around. Let this oil get hot before you put your beef in it. Okay guys, so it is now ready. I actually, while I had this heating up, I took my beef back over and I cut them up because when I was washing the meat, I realized not all of them were close to the same size, and I wanted them to be close to the same size. Some of them were a little more chunkier than others, and I really want them to cook evenly. I have my pot on a low, but with the Dutch oven, it heats up really, really fast, so this part shouldn't take that long. Cook my onions too much, but I do want some of that flavor to already be in with my beef while I'm searing it. Our beef is almost brown on all the sides, so I'm gonna go ahead and add in my onions. Now you don't have to have your onions this small. This is just how I wanted mine. Medium size is just fine, but I like diced onions. And plus it makes your meal stretch a whole lot further. That's another reason why I cut up my beef a little bit too. Not just so it'll all cook around the same, but it stretches your meal. And we'll be back and we're gonna dump everything else in at the same time, except for the potatoes. Everything come together how it should come together. Don't rush the process. Enjoy it. So we are about to cut up our potatoes while the meat is browning and the onions is in with the meat. So what you're going to need for this recipe is 4 pounds of beef stew. 4 to 8 is what the book is saying. 1 tablespoon of oil, 3 quarts of cubed potatoes. That's about 18 medium. I don't have 18 medium potatoes here, so I'll just eyeball mine. If I need to add more potatoes to my bowl, then I will. 2 quarts of carrots, which if you're using like the small carrots, or how big you're cutting your carrots, or how much you even like carrots. 3 cups of chopped celery, that's about 6 stalks, which I did use. 3 cups of chopped onions, that's 4 to 5 medium, but if you have large onions like I did, 2 will suffice for me, but 3 if you're cutting them big. 1.5 teaspoons of salt. I'm using 2 teaspoons of thyme. I'm also using 1 teaspoon of pepper, or 1.5 teaspoons of pepper. And then for garlic, you can use a whole garlic, or you can use the minced garlic. It is up to you. So now I'm gonna add my carrots and my celery. I already have my onions in there. And I may dice another onion and have it a little bit bigger than the ones that I have in there. So it'll be a range of onions in there. I think that's what I will do. We're gonna mix this up. Let this cook down just a little bit while I'm cutting my potatoes. Once I add the potatoes, that's when I'm gonna start adding my seasonings, my tomato paste, and my broth, which is sitting right back there warm. So I want you to see that I added 2 of these cans. Then I filled this up 2 times with water. So 2 cans of tomato paste and 2 cans of water. So equal amounts of both. And I'm just gonna mix this up together. All of this is gonna go in my stew. The most time consuming part of this to me is chopping up, cleaning the potatoes and cutting them up. It wasn't that bad doing the carrots and onions or the celery. What I'm also going to add to my tomato sauce is 1 tablespoon of sugar. The recipe doesn't call for that, so you don't have to do that. Well, I'm actually going to add 2 tablespoons. And you don't have to add anything if you don't want to. You can wait until your meal is done, you know, and you're getting ready to actually cook it out of the jar to eat. So that's 2 tablespoons of sugar I'm adding to this tomato paste. We all know tomatoes have a little tartness to them. We're going to add our potatoes. Hopefully I have enough room for everything. Y'all, I need my spoon. I need my spoon. I'll mix this up a little bit. See how brown that is? You're not cooking it, you're just browning it. You see a little tippet of pink in there, not much. I didn't cut up the onion like I said. I think I have enough onion in here, you guys. I really do. I probably should have used my stock pot, but I just love the way my Dutch oven cooks. I really, really do. So to that, and some people season as they go when they're putting their stuff in layers. I didn't do that. Not doing that. Nope, not doing it. So let's season up, and then we'll put the sauce in. I like thyme, so I'm not gonna do the 1/8 that it calls for. I'm gonna do 1/4 of thyme. And then I'm gonna do a 1/2 teaspoon of salt, and this is kosher salt. Don't use iodized salt. You can use kosher salt, and they say you can use the canning and pickling salt. So for the garlic, however, I'm going to use, where is it? I don't know what I did with my 2 tablespoons measure. I'm just gonna do 1 tablespoon. And then when I'm cooking, if I need to add more, then I can. Because if you add too much, you can't take away. Okay, so that's it for that. Now I'm gonna add my tomato paste. I'm making a mess, as per usual. I'm always making a mess. Let's try to stir this up a little bit without splashing everything, because I know I'm good for it. I'm a messy cooker at times. And see, it doesn't take long for yellow potatoes to cook compared to white potatoes, and I'm learning that as I go, because I didn't do a lot of cooking from scratch, you know, in my early years. I really just started doing that maybe 10 years ago. First 10 years of my marriage, no, didn't do it. And I almost feel like I want to add more pepper to it, you guys. Just a little bit. Add a little bit more. What's that? 1/4 teaspoon. There we go. Okay, so guess what we about to add? And I may have to move this to my stock pot, you guys, because it doesn't tell you how much you need. So give me 1 second. Let me switch pots out, because this pot's not gonna be big enough for me. Yes, so you guys, when I tell you, when I started pouring this beef stew into the bigger stock pot that I have, oh my gosh, the aroma. So now I can add the rest of this to my, sorry, my hands are right in there. But in order for me to let you see in this pot, I gotta get up close and personal. Next, we are going to add our beef stock, and that's the last thing to add. Let me be careful. I'm gonna back y'all up. I want to show you guys, but I don't want to hurt myself, because this stuff is hot. Okay? It's been on heat. Stir it up. I didn't pour all of it in there, but that's fine, because I don't know how much liquid I'm gonna need for my jars. That smells so yummy-licious. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to put my lid on. I'm gonna put my lid on, and then we're gonna bring it up to a boil. Once it gets to a boil, we're gonna start canning this bad boy up, and we can get to the whole pressure canning of this thing. We're gonna turn the fire up and bring that bad boy to a boil. Just a medium high. Don't like shoot it overboard on high to try to speed it up. Let it all come up together. Let it all come up together, okay? because right now my jars are a little warm, but they've been sitting out too long for me. So I'm going to add them. I have jars underneath. Let me show you. I want to put my hands inside the jar. My canner is on a low, so I have jars down here with another, you see with the holes, another one of these pans. And now I can sit this on top. Now you can't do this if you're doing quart. Do that because you need to have room at the top between here and there. This to come to a rolling boil. It hasn't gotten there yet. So once it does, I will bring you back. I'm going to stir this. You want to stir it, make sure it's not sticking to the bottom. Constantly stir it, but I put the lid on because it'll bring it up a whole lot faster than me leaving the lid off. So you guys, we are now at a rolling boil, as you can see. Okay, that's what you want it to look like. A rolling boil. I'm gonna give it a stir. I already turned the eye off. Once it starts rolling boil, turn it off. Y'all, we ready. We ready. We ready. We ready for you. Come on, come on. We ready. We ready. Let me stop acting silly, y'all. Let's get it done. So right now I'm taking my jars out. They're not super hot. They're hot enough for me not to pick them up though, but I had to move it with my hand to get it out. And y'all, I'm having troubles with my hand. I had hand surgery on my left hand last year. If I'm not mistaken, it was last year. And then I had, no, it was the year before I had hand surgery. Last year I had foot surgery. Lord, child, I'm always having something done. Because of my carpal tunnel was so bad, you guys. And now, because I did a whole test and they test the strength of your hands. And I already knew that my right hand was going to be problems for me. But I don't want to have another hand surgery. Or I can't do this because I'm right-handed. I guess that's why I'm trying to get a lot of stuff done, because I know that I have to have eventually cataract surgery. And I'm going to end up probably getting this hand done. I'm never having another foot surgery done if I can help it. That is the worst thing. It takes so long to heal. So long to heal. Okay, so I've taken my jars out. Now we're about to start scooping and scooping and scooping. Okay? Oh, that looks so good. So what I'm trying to do here is just get the vegetables and not the liquid. That's what you want to do. Get the vegetables, not the liquid. If some go in, that's fine, but try to get your items in first. We'll go back and put the liquid in. And it may get more than you need in a jar. That's gonna happen. Shake a shake. I'm gonna do 3 and show you the process. Cleaning our jars together. So after I do this one, then I'm gonna show you the next step, and then I'm gonna just fast track through it. So this video is probably already long, so it's not any longer. Let's see, I'm gonna get a little potatoes, carrots. So I can get why they do it the other way, because that way you know how much you have in your jar of each. Like that could stand a little bit more something. A little bit more of something. And I'm glad I cut those up a little bit. Okay, so let me show you what you do next. So what you're going to do now is you're going to add your liquid to the jars. Just put that back over there. One-inch headspace. Put a little over because I'm sure it's going to go down. That's why I want this thing, the funnel, to go over the jar. I mean, I haven't had a mess so far, but knock wood. I'm good and messy, y'all. And I always go a little bit over the 1 inch when I'm first putting it in, because once I debubble, I already know that I'm gonna lose a little bit of liquid if I don't do that extra. Sometimes it works, sometimes it don't. So take your debubbler, if I can get my pick up. I don't have any nails, y'all. It's so difficult. It's so difficult. I really want some nails. Okay, let's move this out of the way. So all you're gonna do now is just poke down into the jar and get any of those air pockets that might be at the bottom or in the middle. See how that's going around like that? And then poke it down. Do that for each jar. I can already see I'm going to have to add a little bit more liquid to here, but Lord, this looks so good, and my house smells so good. Like this is saying to me, fall is in the air. Now it might not be in the air where you are, but fall is in the air here where I'm at. Granted, it's supposed to be a little bit warmer next week. But, okay. I think we good. Yeah. I only needed that little bit. But yeah, so next step is you've already debubbled. You have your liquid in there. You're going to use, oh, you can't see it. In this, I have some white distilled vinegar. I'm gonna wring it out. Shake it out. Probably shouldn't have did it with that hand because I have a cut on that finger. Okay, so what you're gonna do is, I'm gonna have to hold that finger up because it's hurting. Go around, let me do this one first so you can see. Go around the top of the jar. Then go around the side of the ridges. Because see how I put this right here in this jar? And then you got the liquid running down. So you need to get that off of there before you put any kind of lid, ring, anything on it. Okay? You have to be prepared. But this says fall to me. This says seasons are changing. And with that, sometimes you got to make a change in what you're doing to make you feel better. This makes me feel better. This brings me joy to be able to do this. So you're just gonna add your lids to the top with your wand, if you have one. It's okay, it's okay, y'all, it's okay. I'm gonna leave that there so I don't lose it. And then once you get that on, you're gonna get your bands. And you're just gonna put them on fingertip tight, okay? Fingertip tight. Put it on just like that. Give it a little twist with your fingers like this. Don't put your whole palm on it because You don't want that to press down so tight that you don't leave any space for airflow within that jar while it's cooking, because you're gonna have spillage of your liquids coming out in your canner. And speaking of canners, so I had already started my canner, but it took so long with the other process. Some of my water had evaporated, so make sure you check your water that it is still at the 2 to 3 inch head space, 2 to 3 inches of water in your canner, whatever your canner is calling for, okay? I had to add more water to mine. And I'm hoping this hand don't give out on me. But look at that, guys. Isn't that pretty? And it's so simple. It is so, this is amazing. It is amazeballs. So guys, that's all you have to do for that for now. So let's get to filling the rest of these jars up so that we can get to the main thing.
You had me at a low, 'cause where you go is where I go. I don't need nobody else. I got you, and you got me too. You came right out of the blue. I wanna do what you want to. We can leave and run away someday, someday. I've been saving you. Save me too. Yeah, I need it. Don't you need me too? 'Cause I need you. So call me anytime that you need a baby. Call me anytime I can come and sit in you. Oh. Call me anytime that you need a friend. And call me anytime when you're out of time. And you, I got you, and you got me too. We can always make it through. What we do is what we do. I can take you anywhere.
So now that you have all of your jars in your canner, I'm double stacked. I'm going to add my lid to it. You see it's on 0. So what I'm gonna do is turn my heat up to a medium high. Then once this vent pipe starts steaming, a straight steady steam, then you will set your timer for 10 minutes before applying your regulator. And also all this extra broth that I have right here, I'm gonna go ahead and can that up. So as you can see, I have a steady flow of steam coming out. You might be able to see it, you might not. Let me see if I can see right there. So I'm gonna set my timer for 10 minutes. Once that timer goes off, then I will add my regulator to it and the pressure will start to build up and you'll start to see your needle move forward. Whatever your PSI is for you, that's where you should be canning. Check your manuals for your elevation level is. So the timer just went off. We're gonna go ahead and turn the timer off. Take our regulator and just plop it right on there. It's not gonna bother you. Don't be afraid of it, because I wasn't first too. So you'll start to see your dial gauge numbers slowly go up. So what you're gonna do is kind of play a cat and mouse with it, with your fire that's underneath your pot. Meaning, you want it to go up to your PSI. Mine is 11, yours may be 10, I don't know. So once mine gets to that 11 mark, now I can teeter-totter between 11 and 13, and I'm okay. I don't want to go over that. So cat and mouse game is how you're going to keep raising and lowering your fire till you find that sweet spot that kind of holds your dowel where it needs to be. Don't leave your pressure canner unattended. Do not do that, okay? Because it doesn't take but a split second for your dowel to either go below your pressure or above your pressure. So I'll be back when mine reaches and show you where it is. Okay, so as you can see, I am at 11. And so it'll be a lot of back and forth with, you know, the eye and keeping my eye on it. I did go over the 15, you guys. So if that happens to you, just turn your heat down. Don't take your regulator off. Just turn your heat down. Let it come back down to where it needs to be, and then try to lock it in there. So again, in case I forgot to tell you, as you can see, I'm hovering around 12 now. So that's why I stay in here. And make sure you set your timer, because I walked off and did not set mine. And I said, oh my gosh, let me run back in there. So I'm doing pint size. Pint size, I will be canning for 1 hour and 15 minutes. Okay, you guys, it's down to 0. Your nipple is down. That means the pressure is out. You can take your regulator or weight off. You still need to be careful when you open it. So I'm going to try to do it with one hand, but I may have to put my phone down to show you. But I'm opening it away from me, and it's still hot. And they're already pinging. They've probably been pinging. I had to leave and run out. But I can see that some of them have sealed. Some of them still waiting to pop. So I'm going to go ahead and take them out and sit them on the counter. And I'll be right back. Ooh, I like that sound. You definitely can do that. Okay, so as you can see, some of them have sealed. I'm still waiting on a couple of them. I can kind of tell they haven't popped yet. But you guys, I have 14, 3, 6, 9, 12, 14 of these jars. Beautiful, beautiful jars. Look at that. Wow. That's just, that. The house smells so. The house smells so good, you guys.